You are now listening to the Hot
Eagles
Take
Dallas,
Hot Box.
basically for the division, the lead, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure whoever wins this is leaving with a division lead. It is next Sunday, a Sunday night game. Do you prefer? Do you like the Sunday night games, Ty?
I mean, I love Carrie Underwood, so
Well, that's true. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night, and
Absolutely.
that's how you feel when she's up there. And
once you see them legs, does she have the nicest legs ever? Stacy Keebler's probably held that title for a while, but I think Carrie Underwood's got to be number one.
I mean, she's up there. If you were making a
definitely up
power
there.
ranking, she's definitely up there. Ty, we are
Yeah. Also,
3.5 point underdogs next week.
People were surprised that we were underdogs this week. I was like, well,
Now it makes sense.
I know we're at home. Yeah, now it makes sense, right? All the people are like, too good to be true. Eagles underdogs at home. I'm taking them. I'm like, all right, well, you're gonna be nervous for a large part of this game. Looks like those kind of bettors were. So this week, yeah, I mean, that seems like kind of a big number, right? They just came off a game where they got pretty much torched up and down the field by Geno Smith. I don't think they were outgained, but it was very close. They did well against the run, but DK Metcalf's, AJ Brown can do what similar things that what DK Metcalf did to that defense. I think Dayron Bland somehow has 900 pick sixes this year. I think that's more of a facade
on Thursday night, dude.
Yeah, they can be. Their secondary isn't great, especially without Trevon Diggs. Their defense as a whole, I think we have to limit them up front. Obviously, I feel like we do pretty well against Micah Parsons in his career. He's definitely gotten us, but he's one of the better pass rushers in the league, and we've gotten him more than our fair share as well. So I really think it's going to sound crazy. I keep saying every week, but we just have to get pressure on the quarterback, and then I'll feel better, right? It'll help limit the secondary having to cover their guys. They don't have as many elite names or elite pieces or productive stars on offense than some of the other teams, but CeeDee Lamb has been playing out of his mind last couple of weeks, this year in general. Ever since, I think, was it Michael Irvin or Des Bryant? Somebody said he's not a number one receiver, which is crazy to say. And then he's been just snapping. So we're going to have to keep him in check. Jake Ferguson had a great week. We're going to have to keep him in check. Shaq Leonard, if he plays right away, he's going to be thrust into action on a young, rising tight end who just came off a great game. Brandon Cook's still playing, which is crazy. I think he's only 28, which is the most wild thing ever. But and I guess Gallup is their other receiver. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's still
they use Dowdle pretty well. He's not bad, and Tony Pollard. They have a good O line, of course, and Dak has been playing well. So we're gonna have our hands full, man, in Dallas too. So you're gonna get some Jerry World calls probably. Yeah, defense has to just fucking step up.
Yeah, I think for me, please, let's just start on the offensive end. Run the ball, okay? Please run the ball. Run the ball at Micah Parsons. Make him be a run defender. It has been a theme throughout our run-ins with them is that he does not like when you run at him or use the misdirection, and he's kind of just confused and lost as he thinks he's rushing the passer, and then there's a guy running right by him. We just need to establish the run early on in one of these games, please, because as a team, we've totally stopped being who we are, and we've gotten away from that identity. How were we so good last year, Ty? We were running the ball down people's throats, and there was nothing they could do about it. I mean, what did Miles Sanders run for last year? 1,200, like something? He had 1,000 yards at least. So, and we're not even going to come close probably to any of these guys running for 1,000 yards. It feels like, or if they do, they'll barely touch that number. We don't run the ball nowhere near the level that we did last year, and I think it's holding us back because it's not opening up. The pass game is not as open as it used to be because those guys are just. They know what they're doing. Last year, he ran for 1,269 yards. That's Miles Sanders. This year, he's got 325. We have not run the ball this year, man. And it's not even like do you think it's that we can't do it, or is it that we're just choosing not to?
It's a little bit of both, I think. DeAndre Swift, week 2 had 28 carries. Week 3 he had 16 carries. Week 1 he had 1. Ever since then, he's he's been in the 10 to 15-ish range, right? Last week against San Fran 6, KC 12. I don't know. I don't know. It's like, they're running it's just like a predetermined script, it seems like sometimes, especially when you start the game. Kenny Gainwell, Boston Scott, they're getting some action on pass downs, which is fine, but then you're giving them the ball in second and long, and now it's third and long. So Swift's off the field for, multiple plays now. It's weird. It's confusing. I don't know what Brian Johnson's, what his game plan is, but it doesn't really revolve around Swift, right? And the first 2 weeks, or the first 3 weeks, I should say, he was a key member, a key, figure of this offense. And now he's kind of been just, he's getting some stat padding yards. He's getting some chunk plays too. He definitely gets the chunk plays, but consistently he's not getting. They're not letting him get in a rhythm, it seems like. And obviously, a lot of running backs, that's huge, right? Get a couple carries and then you start churning the ball out, get 5-10 yards. So yeah, I think that's going to be something we need to do. But also, our run blocking has been great this year. I think Jordan Mailata has taken a step back at that left tackle spot. I think the interior, Jason Kelsey's had been great all year. He wasn't really good against the Niners, and Cam Jurgens has not been the player we thought at right guard. So that center right guard situation's been far less than ideal. Jalen Hurts as a runner, it's just not going to be there this year. It seems like now he has to deal with whatever head issue he has. I'm sure he's fine. Obviously, he came back in, but still, he's getting hit more, and that's not good. Last thing we want to see is Marcus Mariota, who, by the way, played pretty well when he was in. Just saying.
Yeah, his couple snaps didn't look good.
Yeah. He completed a couple passes. I'll take it, right? And he ran the ball, so he's faster than Hurts, that's for sure. So if you want to run some speed option with him, get him in there. But no, I don't. Brian Johnson, I think, is just. It's not working. It's not working. What do you think? Do you think we're just not?
I think it's from the early. I think early on for the run game, you have to establish it within the first couple drives, and I don't think we do that enough. And I think we don't use the running backs appropriately because I guess they're worried about running Swift into the ground, and it seems like that's why. Like you said, they manage his snaps, especially early on in the game, so you see a lot more of Gainwell. You see a lot more of, Boston Scott, even though you don't see a ton of these guys, but you see more of them than you do Swift early on in the games. I think it's not – I have a tough time believing that this is essentially the same offensive line that you had last year, that they just aren't going to be able to – like that they've completely lost the ability to run block. I have a tough time buying that, or I have a tough time believing that. So it has to be a coaching mentality, or just a I just the thing was that was our identity last year, and now this year we almost have no identity whatsoever. Like we don't know what is our thing on offense. What do we do well? What is like what do we? How do we beat teams? I guess throwing to AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, is that it?
Yeah, that's. I mean. Like I said, I guess Goddard, stats aren't going to be jumping off the page, but his impact, his presence alone, opens up a big chunk of the field. I guess a lot of the middle of the field, and even just having the defense, put their eyes on somebody else. Then nobody cares about Jack Stoll or Calcaterra or Boston Scott or really anybody else. It's Devontae and AJ Brown. And if one of them, sometimes there's games where not both of them are getting open, right? So it makes it even easier without Dallas Goedert in there. There's not really much pressure on defenses. San Francisco's defense did pretty well, right? They were kind of letting us have a little bit here and there, but I think we should be able to do moderately well against Dallas. I think we should be able to score definitely 20, but 30 plus against them. Seahawks just did. So
yeah, their secondary's bad, man. I think that's the thing. I talked
field,
about the
right?
run, but I think this is going to be a passing game, and that worries me because sometimes in these games they just come in with the idea that this is going to be a passing game, similar to that Jets game. They came in, all right, we're going to pass the ball here. They don't have Sauce Gardner, they don't have DJ Reed. We're going to pass the ball, and it wasn't working, and they weren't able to switch off of it. This game, it feels like that's going to be kind of the only way, right? You're going to have to. You saw the way they were able to move the ball, Seattle, that is, through the air. Deron Blanc getting cooked. That's it. That's the way to beat these guys. I I think you can run the ball on them, but it's going to be another big game for A.J. Brown and some big numbers for Devontae Smith. I think it's going to be big, like you said, if we're able to get Dallas Goedert back out there and he's somewhat healthy. I think they wouldn't play him unless he was healthy. So I think the Eagles. I think this is a perfect matchup or bounce back situation here for them. And I mean, I don't. If the Eagles are who they say they are, then I don't see why they don't win this game.
So it looks like he's been pretty much targeting this game to come back. He practiced 3 days ago. So it looks like he's supposed to come back, right, Dallas Goedert? So that's good. Fletcher Cox noticed – I noticed he played, but I didn't notice him do much with that groin. Not really moving around well. Jalen Carter didn't do anything. Going to need that D-line to really do something.
Yeah.
Son Reddick, I think. Was it Reddick or Sweat early was doing well? I think it was Reddick.
Reddick had a sack.
Sweat seems like he's offside. Not the ones that he was called for, but just in general all year, I feel like he's offside all the time. He definitely tries to jump the snap, but we need more from everybody, especially up front on the defense to get to Dak, rattle him a little bit, do something we couldn't do to Purdy or Josh Allen, really. So,
yeah, it's been a huge missing link. It seems like this team is. I mean, I know we've even said it ourselves, but a lot of people from the outside looking in have said it. This is just not the same team as last year's. They all of the things that they were good at last year, they just don't do well, or they just choose not to do. Whether that be run the ball or they just have not rushed the passer well at all. And I think a lot of that is game plan-esque because a lot of last year, I talked about it last week. We were up in those games. They knew that the other team was passing the ball, and they were able to pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. This year, we don't know. We are constantly playing from behind or playing in close games, and the other offense can do whatever they want. They are not forced into a box to throw the ball the entire second half of games. It's mainly they're trying to keep the lead, and they're running the ball and doing whatever they can. So, Ty, I'm going to say I think the Eagles do put up some points. I think the Eagles win this game 34-31, and it is a close game, but we just kind of skate away with the victory, and we look much better in this game.
I will. It's the over-under 52.5. I'm going to say 28-24. I'm going to say 28-24. Maybe a little lower score. Maybe there's going to be some field goals. Or some, something, a lot long stretches of play where we don't score. It seems like first half we never score. So, I think we get it done with a late score. I think we get another game-winning drive, game-winning field goal from Elliott or a game-winning touchdown from Hurts, something to shut the crowd up in Jerry World. Shut up, Mr. Jerry Jones. And listen, if they lose this, I'm going to be very doom and gloom the following Monday. And I know you will be as well. So. Let's go out there. Let's relax with the penalties. We're committing a lot of penalties. I've noticed a little bit lately, and just get some pressure.
What did you think at the absolute glory hole? That's what Jerry Jones thinks is winning the Super Bowl. But I just wanted to make sure.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.